Snap lays off 10% or 500 employees, Microsoft lays off 1,400 employees, Discord lays off 17% or 170 employees, Block lays off 10% or 1,000 employees. You get the point. Nobody is hiring and everybody is firing. So what's going to happen to all our debt? So there's something that I like to call tax debt. And that is the debt that you owe to the government. As long as you live, as long as you work, you're gonna owe tax debt. You're gonna owe the government. So when I was living in Virginia, I was making $100,000 a year. And because Virginia has state tax, I would have to pay $5,492.50 as state taxes. But now that I'm living in Dallas, Texas, where I'm walking right now, it's Dallas, Texas. There's no state income tax here. So that $5,500 that I was paying to Virginia, I get to keep that for myself and use that however I want. So when you're thinking about tax debt, most of people don't think about it. And they're just paying money for nothing. Well, it is for something, but you can easily keep that money if you go to the right places. So the lesson here is preferably go to places where there's low income tax or taxes overall, or better yet, there's no taxes at all. So one article said that 50% of millennials have student loan debt. Another article said that 67% of millennials have credit card debt and 36% have student loan debt. So I guess Biden helped in forgiving some debt. So I come from a low-income family. To go to university at all, I had to take out student loans. And immediately after graduating, within that first year after graduating, I paid off all my student loan debt. I'm just the guy who really do not like having debt on his hand, especially credit card debt. That thing will kill you. But one thing that I have to really worry about nowadays is just living expenses. You know, the cost of feeding myself and having shelter. And I did pretty well. Back in Virginia, I spent around $60 per month on groceries. And if you're wondering how I did that, it's because I took advantage of discount grocers like Lidl and Aldi. I just shopped at them exclusively because the prices were so good there. And aside from that, my car cost around $60 per month for gas and $100 per month for insurance. So let me rant on insurance for a little bit, because I was having a conversation with my friend. It was my going away dinner, and he was surprised about how much I was paying for my car insurance. So I had a 2013 Hyundai, right? And for 6 months, the insurance was $595. So let's just round that up to $600. I found out that his insurance for his 2013 BMW M3 was around $300 to $400. So the lesson is to not stay loyal to any of these insurance companies, because whether you're a long-time customer, a loyal customer, which I was, they'll likely charge you higher rates than if you were a new customer. And the insurance company that I was with, I'm calling them out, it's Progressive. So guys, if you're a Progressive, just start shopping for insurance right now. Actually, at the end of this video, what I want you to do is shop for insurance, because you could probably get a better deal. So aside from that, I also have life insurance. That comes in with $222 per month. There's also critical insurance, which cover things that life insurance doesn't cover, like cancer. So that cost me around $188 per month, which makes for a final grand total of $410 per month. So with insurance coming in at $410 per month, I got rid of my car, which basically takes away $160. So that basically means I only have groceries to take care of, which means that the total here with everything excluding rent is $470. But with rent and everything included, including utilities, water, electricity, gas, all that together in Dallas is $1,956, which means that the grand total that I pay for everything to get me through the month is $2,426 per month. So that's basically what I have to make every single month to keep me alive. So I see everything that keeps you alive as debt. So the life insurance, the food, the shelter, all of that combined should be the total expenses that you will always have to pay as debt. You owe it to your future. You owe it to keeping yourself alive. So aside from the business expenses, these are expenses that you'll have to pay again and again and again, regardless of whether you have a job or not, or regardless of whether you have income or not. So right now, I don't feel like I'm out of the woods yet. I basically depend on my job as the income to pay for this debt, what I call expense debt. And if I lose my job, then I would have to put that on credit card or pull in my emergency fund, which I don't want to do. And I realized that I'm in a better position than most millennials who have what I have, but they also have credit card debt, student loan debt, maybe even car debt, right? A car loan. And I would say that I didn't used to live so frugally. In the past, I'd blow a ton of money traveling, having fun, going to events. And now, after reflecting, I'm kind of disappointed in myself for just spending money recklessly like that. And I really didn't see things the way I see things now until the pandemic happened. It gave me time to reflect and get my act together. But now I'm at a point where I have to play catch up. And you know what's worse? What's worse is that throughout all that time before the pandemic, while I was spending recklessly, people were giving me advice. I've watched YouTube videos like of Grant Stephan, and he'd give me this advice saying that I should build an emergency fund, keep on investing into your index funds or ETFs, dollar cost averaging, but I didn't listen to them. And I ignored what they were saying that would have put me in a different position today. And I know that most of you guys would completely ignore the words coming out of my mouth right now. And you're probably gonna repeat the same mistakes that I did in the past until you get to a point where like, man, I should have did what Donald said. So I'm doing everything that I can right now to bulletproof myself. I have no credit card debt, I have no student debt, but if I did, I'd hustle to pay that off first. Because right now, I see my current living expenses as debt that I'll have to pay off again and again and again. And the only way that I'm paying that off right now is with my job. But if I lose that job, then I'm screwed, guys. No doubts about it. Because right now, we are in a firing market instead of a hiring market. And that really pushes me, you know? That really pushes me to hustle on my side hustle to the point that it can completely replace the expenses, the debt that I have to pay again and again and again. And for bonus points, that side hustle is something that I'd ideally work on to the point where it can completely retire both my family and myself. So if you don't see your cost of living expenses as debt, start now, because it is. And if you're on one main source of income, then you have to start thinking about how to diversify and create more income streams. Because if you lose that main source of income, and ideally you have these other income streams that can continue paying off your debt, then you're golden. Now, if you're a millennial and you want to compare how you're doing against other millennials and their debt because you're that type of person, then check out this video here.